Okay, I should now have the recording going. So let's get started. So this little online session is just intended to help give you an overview of some of the different resources and things that we're going to be using as we go throughout the year. And just sort of kind of walk you through a little bit of what those look like and how to access them a little bit, just to give you a quick overview. Hopefully I won't take too long. I know I said we might go until 7:15. I doubt it. I suspect I'll finish much before then, but overall, I'll probably just kind of walk you through a series of little websites and tabs to give you a sense of what it's like. And then if you have any questions at any point, feel free to I think Zoom has an option to like raise your hand or stuff like that. Feel free to do that. I'll try to notice. Otherwise, we'll definitely have time for questions at the end, and I'll hopefully sort everything out. So here we go. Let's just dive in and keep looking at stuff. I'm going to mostly be sharing my screen throughout this, and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to get that started, and hopefully it all works out well. So, alrighty. I just need to figure out how I can also let people into the thing while, there we go. I will try to occasionally check for new participants. I apologize. This is not going to be perfect, but it is what it is. Okay, so this is the main website you went to when you signed up. I will occasionally update it a little bit, but for the most part, I will try to I assume you've kind of been here. It's now been updated. It has the information package that we handed out at the parent meetings, so you can download a copy there, but I do encourage picking one up at the church as well. It has the schedule on here, just in general, as well as the full PDF. Oh, sorry, just admitting a few more people. As well as the full PDF version of the schedule, so you can access that there. Currently, I have kind of what's up next, but I'm probably going to replace that with something else that is coming up that I'll be showing you right away. So one of the other, I've been trying to think of different ways to help sort of present the year to everybody and to help make sure that it's nice and understandable. So this is one thing that I suspect I'm going to be trying to use. It's a website called Trello. And it's what I've done here is taken those little pillars that we have of our kind of the formation journey, starting with foundations and going through reconciliation and discipleship. I won't repeat that whole parent information session, but I put the things here and they're all in little, like you can kind of scroll through and see what's coming up. I think this will be a nice visual way of trying to, or just helping to make sure that, helping to just kind of see how we're making progress through that year. Sorry, I keep getting a little slightly distracted, but here we go. So for example, right now, the foundations category is kind of where we're in right now. And there will be this kind of links to this information session. I'll be putting links to this thing, but then we kind of get down into it and we get into the main topics for the whole process. And so we've got a session where we're going to be talking about baptism and the good news. If you click on that one, it shows up and you can sort of see the dates and times in there. I've got it shrunk down a little bit on my computer right now, but it's right there. Another one of our foundational things is we're asking people to attend Sunday Mass regularly. So I've got that on there with a little note about it. And so you can always kind of dig in and see what's there. In time, I intend to put the resources that we use at the sessions, make them available here as well, or links to different things. So even after I'm done this video, this whole session, I'll have a link on here where all these different links that I'm going through will be available to just kind of make it sort of a central portal to kind of walk us through the year. At the parent meetings, I also mentioned that I'd be trying to do a little introduction video for each section as we go through it, moving from foundations to reconciliation to discipleship. Those videos will be linked on here, and I'll kind of use this site as a little visual to help us through. So I'll probably start putting a link to this at the bottom of all my emails. Currently at the bottom of the emails, I've got things like the little reminders or whatever's coming up. I'll probably have some standard things like a link to this Trello board down there as well, just so it's always kind of available and ready to go. So between that Trello board and the emails that I send you, hopefully it will kind of keep everybody on the same page as we walk through the year. So that's one little thing I'll keep pointing you to and using as a resource. Another thing that we'll turn to is the program that we used last year, which is called Blessed. It's from a group called Dynamic Catholic. They've got a lot of really good work. And it's a couple things that are really nice about this program is that it's good to look at. It's engaging. It's fun that way. And so, sorry, I think I have somebody in the waiting room again. My apologies. No, I don't. Okay, never mind. Sorry. It's very dynamic. And so I'm going to just show one of the little videos. Hopefully it kind of shows for you. But if not, you can check it out later because I'll have the links available.
Like I was saying, you are blessed.
What does it mean to be blessed?
Great question, Sarah. It means that God loves you and showers you with gifts. Are you ready?
Aye, aye, Captain.
You are blessed in so many ways, but every blessing you experience flows from the first blessing. You are a child of God. This is the original blessing. What's the best gift you've ever received? You may think it's a bike, or a baseball bat, or a handbag, or a video game.
All these things are great, and for a little while it feels great to have them. But the best gift you have ever received is life. Life is the ultimate gift. Life makes every other gift possible. Without life, you wouldn't be able to enjoy any other gift.
This is just one of 1,000 reasons why life is sacred. God loves life. The very first thing we read about in the Bible is how God created everything. God created the world in 6 days, and when he was finished, God looked at all he had created and said, "It is good." God said the same thing when he created you. You are blessed in so many ways, but every blessing flows from the blessing of life. You may be blessed to run like the wind.
Woohoo! Go Hemingway!
But if God had not given you life, you wouldn't be able to run. You may be blessed to eat ice cream,
Incoming!
but only because God gave you the original blessing of life. Chocolate.
You may be blessed to sing like an angel. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
But only because God gave you life first. Have I mentioned how blessed you are yet? God gave you life, blessed. God made you his child, blessed. And God put you right here, right now, so we could prepare you to live an amazing life. You are so blessed. God was right. Everything he created is good. Sarah, you've got to try some of this.
So there you go. That's a sample video from Blessed. The program also comes with a textbook and stuff, but for the most part, we won't be using that. But I'll be pointing you to these videos, or we'll be using them during our sessions and things like that as well. Another one that we'll turn to is a series called Growing Up Catholic that we used in previous years. That had a lot of really good things. It was great at kind of getting families working together and exploring their faith together. And so sometimes I'll point you at their website for for things to do and to look at. It's very family friendly. It's one thing I really like about it. So for example, one of the things it has is a guide for non-Catholic parents and guardians. Just sort of some thoughts that people can kind of go through, or little glossaries about Catholic things. Generally, it's just, they've got a lot of really good stuff. And even though we're not just flat out using their program this year, I want to keep turning to it a little bit as well. Looking back at that Trello thing for just a moment, one thing I want to quickly show that I forgot to, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. Boop, boop, boop. Now you can see me. On if you're accessing it on the phone instead, I always just go to the website. It often tells me that I should be downloading the app, and I never do, but it still works quite well. But from there, you can still sort of see the exact same things. In a lot of those sections, like when we look at reconciliation, I've got sort of material for there, but one of them is always the face-to-face retreats. I'm going to start sharing stuff with face-to-face. I'm going to share my screen again. And so we always see that, sorry, I messed that up. Face-to-face doing different things. So let's show you a little bit more about face-to-face. They are a group that works here near Saskatoon and out of Saskatoon, and they do retreats and things like that across Western Canada, and they do a lot of fantastic work. So when I talk about, oh, we've got the face-to-face retreat coming up, it's these people. They're really good. They do a lot of fantastic work. Just wanted to mention them. Another thing that I'll be pointing you towards is called Formed, or formed.org. It's kind of trying to be like a Netflix and a library for Catholic stuff. Sort of taking both of those things together and just making it accessible. And we've paid for a subscription, so it's free for everybody to use. So at some point, I'll be asking you to watch some videos from here on Formed. So to access it, you end up just going to formed.org/sign-up, or you're going to sign up, and you go into the little box and you just search for Saskatoon. I find that's the easiest one. Pick us from the list, enter your email address and your name, and away you go. Once you're signed in, it ends up looking roughly like this. And it's kind of a Netflix sort of like style of things. There's just lots of stuff on here. A couple things in particular that I find are great. So anybody can sign in and create your own account and get going on it right away. I do encourage checking it out. There's a lot of awesome stuff on here. They've got some various little study programs and things like that. They also have what they call movie night. Now, with younger children, this might not be as helpful, but some here and there it might be. But it's a lot of it, they're inspiring movies meant to just sort of really help us to kind of get into our faith a little bit better. But in particular, they've got a fantastic kids section. Sometimes I'll be directing you to different videos from here, or we might even use them at our sessions. I know that Brother Francis videos are used at the schools at times. There's a lot of really good stuff. I won't use them at the session likely, but Ryan DeFreitas' Secret Agent is a very fun little series. And we'll definitely, we just kind of keep going down here. It's unfortunately a little ways down. There's some stuff in Spanish for those of you who like Spanish or know Spanish. There's also Cat Chat, which is done by a family that was from lived near Saskatoon. And it's broadcast across North America on Catholic networks. It's fantastic. Like, very catchy songs. I'll definitely be using some of their stuff with their younger youth as we go through the program. They've also got audio talks and ebooks and lots of stuff. So there's a lot of it's a great resource. It's free for you to use. So I will be pointing in that direction as we go through the year as well. And if you need a little more information or guidance, we've got a little page on our website as well that kind of directs you to how to sign up and some ideas for where to start. Another thing we'll be using, especially with the adults people, is a series called Alpha. Just going to quickly check a chat message. It was asking which one are we going to use mainly. We're going to be bouncing between all the different things. So I'll be guiding you as we go through week to week where we're going to different things, but we won't be using any one of those programs necessarily more than the others. The Alpha film series is a fantastic series that just helps to explore the Catholic faith or explore the Christian faith in many ways. I'm going to show a quick little teaser trailer for them as well. So here we go.
Every day we ask so many questions. What should I wear? What's the weather going to be like? How am I going to fit everything in? But then there are those bigger questions, like why am I here? Where am I heading? Is there more to life than this?
I had arrived at an answer to the most important issue that we humans ever deal with. Is there a God? And I had arrived there without ever really looking at the evidence. And I was supposed to be a scientist.
28, I had gotten many of the things that I thought I wanted. My girlfriend was on the cover of magazines, I had a Beamer, and I was so unhappy. It was a realization maybe that I would never find happiness where I was looking for it.
I think for so many years, I always just strived to be strong in myself. All I needed was me and my buddies and, we'd be like invincible. But the truth is, none of us are.
I found purpose, I found meaning, I found hope. God took something so broken and made it a beautiful art piece.
Alpha is a place where you can be yourself. You can say what you think and challenge everything. No question is too complex or too simple. And what your point of view is as important as anyone else's.
We are going on a journey together, an adventure to explore the questions of life, faith, and meaning.
So that's Alpha. And we'll be using that for some of the adult groups. And for the older youth, I know we will. And we might, I'm not sure. We'll have to check it out and see if some of these are useful for the younger youth as well. There's an Alpha Youth series that might be good for them too. So you might see us pointing you or showing some of these in our sessions as well, if it loads.
Okay, you rolling? Okay, we're gonna scare Jason with this spider. Come on, we're gonna get him back. Watch it! Guys, this is a film set. You gotta...
Tons of things happen in our lives every day. And in a 24-hour period, we ask ourselves so many different questions. Like, what should I eat? What should I wear? Or who should I hang out with? Sometimes we ask bigger questions, like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Who will I marry? Or where will I live? But every once in a while, we ask ourselves those even bigger questions. Questions like, why am I here? What's my purpose? And is there more to life than this? The reality is, there aren't a lot of places we can go to explore life's biggest questions. So on Alpha, we want to create a space where we can talk about those kind of questions in a way that's open and honest.
In each one of our hearts, it's like we have a happiness bucket that we're constantly trying to fill. It can sound like this. If I just had more money or nicer clothes or a new girlfriend, then I'd be happy.
The nights would come and the girls would be gone. Like, it'd be just me, me and I guess God, right? And I'm like, okay, there's definitely more to life than this. Like, I just want, and you don't get anything.
There's this deeper, even spiritual hunger that we're all trying to satisfy.
As someone who grew up in an atheistic home, I wasn't just going to accept what he was going to say. So I was like, okay, did this actually happen historically? What's the evidence? I'm not going to just buy into something because I get swept up in the emotion of it.
You have approximately 570,000 hours left to live. And we want to invite you to spend less than 24 of them with us on Alpha.
So again, that's Alpha. That's the youth version of it. And we'll be drawing on both the adult and the youth ones as we go through the programs a little bit this year as well. Things I really like about Alpha is, even though it's not specifically Catholic, I find it's great at just kind of meeting people wherever they're at and helping them to take the next steps or encouraging us to take those next steps. So I've gone through it a number of times with different groups and things, and I always find it fruitful. I always get a lot out of it. So that's something we'll be using. Something else I'll be pointing you to in time is an app called Hallow, or there's a similar kind of one called Amen. I'm going to just kind of show you both of those briefly. The idea behind both of them is that they are little prayer companions. So they just kind of help us to pray. You can kind of go into the app and you can pick out something that appeals. You just want to calm down a little bit, or have a little scripture reflection, the daily gospel or something like that. My wife or my family and I have been using it for probably 1.5 years now, at least. We've been using Hallow, and it's been fantastic for us. It's helped to really make our prayer more consistent, even just like a little bit every day. And so one of the things we do is we turn to listening to a little daily gospel reflection as we drive the kids to school. And it helps us everybody to just kind of reset, even if we had a rushed or a frustrating morning. It helps everybody to reset on our way to school, and it's been really good. So I'll be pointing you in the direction of these as well as we go throughout the year, that they might be a really useful tool for you and your family. And so they're definitely worth checking out. So Hallow is one of the apps. Amen is another similar one. They're both fantastic and offer a lot of really great things. So I'll be sending you that way, especially eventually as we start talking about prayer and stuff like that in some of our sessions. Another thing I might point you towards is called The Chosen. It's an extremely well done TV series that is sort of looking at the life of Jesus and what the life of Jesus and his apostles and the disciples and everybody gathering around him in the crowds, what that might have actually been like. So they've released 3 seasons so far. I think they're planning 6 or 7, and it's really well done. And so it's a great way of just kind of exploring getting our imagination going about what might it be like to be with him. And so I might be pointing you that way as well. It's certainly a great little thing. It's available. The first season's available to watch free on Netflix, and even on Formed, that Netflix for Catholic stuff that I was looking at earlier. But the others, anyways, it's a great thing. So at some point I might introduce you to that. You can just, even if you don't want to, you can just go onto their website and like start picking somewhere in here. There it is. There's seasons 1, 2, and 3, and you can pick through, and they're fantastic. So they're not necessarily child friendly. I'd suggest that you watch it as parents first, and then judge if you feel any episode is really good for your children. But this one, season 1, episode 3 for sure is a good one that I'll be sending your way. So. And another thing that's not specifically Catholic at all, but that I also found really helpful is a little thing called Tiny Habits. So I'll be working that into sort of some aspects of our program as it's the idea behind Tiny Habits is saying, like, taking a look and saying, what do I want to do? Now, how can I make that the smallest possible version? Do that, and then kind of build from there. And it's remarkably effective. So it's another thing that I found really helpful in my own life, and I hope others will as well. So that's why I want to pull that one out as well. So that's kind of like a quick little introduction. We're going to have those prayer apps as we go through things, Hallow and Amen. We'll probably see a little bit of Alpha. We'll be pointed to things on Formed and all that. There's going to be a lot of different stuff. But for the most part, you'll be able to, again, just kind of follow along with the emails that I'll be sending regularly. And with this little Trello board will help to provide a little visual for it. So it'll be kind of a nice, I think a good place to sort of check to see everything, and I'll point you towards those regularly. Though fundamentally, you're going to probably be guided mostly through my little emails, which I'll try to keep short, sweet, and to the point, and as clear as possible. So hopefully that's helpful. So that's, one other thing. I forgot to show you the Hallow app, like what it looks like on a phone. It's the same sort of thing. I guess they showed videos of it. This daily gospel is the one that my family uses all the time. We use it almost every day. So there's lots of really good stuff out there. I'll hopefully point you in the direction of some of them. And as we go through this year, you'll be able to find some stuff that really works well for you. So that's about all I've got right now. I'm going to turn off the recording right away. So I'll say farewell to everybody who's watching the recording. Nope. Soon I will say farewell. I'll figure this out.